Dear students, welcome to the video lecture class on power generation and economics. Under module 1, today I am going to discuss some of the terms such as hydrology, runoff and stream flow, hydrograph, flow duration curve, mass curve, reservoir capacity, dam storage and hydrological cycle. Let us begin with first one. Hydrology. Okay, the basic definition of hydrology is it is the branch of science concerned with the properties of the earth's water and especially in its movement in relation to land. Means the water movement in relation to land. Here the hydrology is precipitation. This includes all the waters that falls from atmosphere to the earth surface. It is mainly of two types. One is rainfall, another one is the snow. Okay, rainfall is called here the liquid precipitation, and whereas snow are held as solid precipitation. Okay, now the definition of runoff is equal to P minus E. Okay, it is that proportion of precipitation which makes the way towards stream, okay, lakes or oceans. Okay, runoff can be possible only when the rate of precipitation exceeds the rate at which water infiltrates, means the water unable to absorb, or the soil is unable to absorb. Okay, so then only the water flow it will becomes, right? So here into the soil, and after small and large depressions, okay, on the soil surface gets filled up with water. Okay, next the also losses due to evaporations have to be deducted, because due to the evaporations the water which it will be evaporation water, the runoff will be get reduced, means R is get reduced because due to the evaporations we have to subtract. Okay, so this is the equations which it will be shows here. The R is equal to P minus E, where P is the precipitation, okay, and minus E is evaporation. Okay, here it is mentioned the evaporation means it is the transfer of water from liquid to a vapor state. Next one is stream flow. Okay, stream flow, it is the volume of water that moves through a specific point in a stream during a given period of time. It is also the flow of water in streams, rivers and other channels, and is major element of the water cycle. Okay, so it is the volume of water that moves through a specific point. So here one image I have put here, the discharge is nothing but the area into velocity. Okay, where area is the depth and width, all the quantities are here shown. Okay, so it is called stream flow. Next one is hydrograph. Okay, if you are looking to the here graph, okay, it is the plot between discharges versus time of flow. I repeat here, this is the discharge versus the time. Okay, time in the sense here it is plotted maybe in hours or months. Okay, it is a plot between discharge versus time of the flow. It's called a here hydrograph. Okay, discharge is plotted on y-axis and the corresponding time, that may be month, hours, etc., is plotted on the x-axis. Hydrograph also indicates the available power from the stream at different times. So what it indicates with different time what is the discharge. This is the another one image I have put here, just we have to go through, but this is the main graph you have to plot if it is asked to define hydrograph. This graph you have to plot it. This is image I have shown in detail. Okay. Next one is flow duration curve. Okay, flow duration curve. It is a plot of discharge versus percentage of time. So here it will be taken in terms of percentage. Okay. So versus percentage of time for which the discharge is available. It is obtained from the hydrograph data. So in this, the flow or discharge can be expressed as a cubic meter per second or per week or other units of time. Okay. Any time we can take here the respective graph which we are going to plot. Okay, the flow duration curve becomes the load duration curve for hydroelectric plants, and thus it is possible to know that total power available at the site. It's nothing but what it's like a load curve. Load curve you are seeing there, as earlier I have explained. The load curve, it will be indicates that how much load it is there with respect to during the time. The same here, the flow duration curve, how much it will be before that I will explain here little once again. I will explain here. It is obtained from the hydrograph data. Okay, the flow or discharge can be expressed as cubic meter per second, means water how much it will be discharged in terms of cubic meter per second. Okay, so with help of this we can come to know that how much water it will be available and how much it is there with respect to time, like a load curve. Okay, load curve is plotted load with respect to time. Okay, here in terms of load it will be nothing but discharge. Okay. Okay. Next one more point is here, flow condition decides the maximum capacity of plant that can be improved. Okay, improved by the increasing the storage capacity. So the generation is mainly depends upon the storage capacity, how much water it will be stored. According to that we can go for the maximum capacity of generation. This is another one image of flow duration curve. It is plotted with flow versus percentage of time. Next one is the mass curve. Mass curve, it is a plot cumulative of volume of water that can be stored from a stream flow versus time in a day, week or month. Means water is stored with respect to time. Time may be days, weeks or months. Okay, shows the mass curve. Figure shows maximum intercept between the AB and mass curve is known as reservoir capacity. Okay, reservoir capacity is nothing but here it will be shows the term between A and B. Okay, between A and B, the mass curve is known as reservoir capacity. The capacity of reservoir made for a period of deficiency to make available to flow of water at required rate is studied by mass curve. By knowing this, we can study that how much it is the reservoir, the capacity is that. Reservoir means it will be storing capacity, how much it is there. Okay, by this graph we can come to know. It is plotted between the cumulative flow with respect to time, whether either time is week or days. This is another one image. Okay, here on examples also it will be given here. The units used for indicating storage, I will take pen where I am Okay, here the units used for indicating storage are the cubic meter or the day second meter. Also it will be called day second meter. Okay, a day second meter is the flow at the rate of 1 meter cube per second. I repeat here, a day second meter is the flow at the rate of 1 meter cube second for 1 day, and is equal to the, a day is nothing but 86,400 meter cube. Okay, by storage the flow of water can be modified according to the plant requirements, and hence the generating capacity of plant for the same mass flow can be increased. Water beyond the dam at the plant is found as water held in a upstream conversion reservoirs is storage. Okay. The purpose of a reservoir is conserve water which may be used during the period of deficiency. This already I have discussed about in layout. Okay, reservoir means it will be storing the water, okay, during the off peak period, and it will be utilized in off peak period. Okay, next one is the dam storage. The function of dam is to provide a head of water to be utilized. Okay, head already I have discussed that it will be water, it will be coming from the reservoir to the through the penstock to the turbines. Okay, utilized in water turbines. Though many times high dams may be built solidly to provide the necessary head to the plant. Okay, as already I have discussed about the hydroelectric power plants classified with respect to the head. Okay, different heads, high head, medium head, and low head. And what are the head levels also I have discussed. Okay, so here the dam storage is nothing but the function of dam is to provide a head of water. Means it depends upon the how the dam is built. Dam is built across the rivers. Okay, depending upon the head, the water is stored here to be utilized in the water turbine. Demands peaks or short periods of water shortage can be bridged, okay, by dams as they can be buffer water. It means the water, it will be stored in the reservoir across the river. Dam is built, I repeat here, sorry, I repeat here that the dam is built across the river, and the ample of water in backside of the water, it will be stored. It is called the storage. Okay, also it is called as here reservoir. Okay, hydrological cycle. Next one is the hydrological cycle. The cycle movement called hydrological cycle. Water rotates water from the sea to the atmosphere by evaporation, and then from there by precipitation, that is nothing but rain, and to earth, and finally through streams, rivers, etc. back to the sea. Means this is a one cycle, hydrological cycle we are saying here. The cycle movement is called the hydrological cycle. Water rotates in the sense, here I have one image, I will show you. Here you can see water which it will be goes to the evaporations, then condensation. I will take pen. Just a moment. Okay, so water, it will be goes to the evaporations, then condensation, and it will be goes to the precipitation, rainfall, and it will be comes to the infiltrations. The term earlier it was came here, the infiltrations. After infiltration means the soil unable to absorb. Okay, infiltration, the water it will be goes to the again river or lake. Okay, then once it will be reached here, this cycle will be repeated. Okay, this cycle is called the hydrological cycle. Let us have once the definition. The cycle movement called hydrological cycle. Water rotates water from the sea, okay, that canal or river, sea, it will be, to the atmosphere by evaporation, and then from there by precipitation, rainfall, to earth, and finally through streams, rivers, etc., it back to the sea. Okay, so it will be starts from sea and back it will becomes to the sea. Okay, it will be start from this, it start from sea and it will be goes to the, through this evaporation and condensation, then it will becomes to the precipitations, and then it will becomes to the uh, rivers or canal, and it will be finally reaches to the sea. Okay. This cycle is called the hydrological cycle. Okay. With this, I conclude this session. Okay. Thank you.